Well, good morning, traders. Not a lot to really worry traders and investors overnight. The market continues on its merry ascent higher. There's some charts that just look really nice at the moment. Have a look at this chart here of the copper chart. It looks brilliant at the moment. Equity markets continue to feast off that. The oil market is moving higher. We did see some headlines coming through that the Senator effectively looking at the accounting practices of certain Chinese companies listed on the US, and that did affect certain individual equities. But we've seen some fairly limited moves in fixed income, and the market continues on its merry ascent. So let's have a look at the boards. So we've got S&P 1.7%, 2971, closer towards 3,000 every day. That market looking pretty good at the moment. I will say that the S&P futures and Nasdaq in the futures market have had a 13 count on the mark indicator. Some people like to see that as a potential reversal, so that'd be one to look at. But we have seen the Russell up 3%, so again, really good outperformance from small caps. European markets okay. We've got SPY futures up 65 basis points, so indicating a modestly positive start, but those markets in Asia looking really good at the moment on the daily chart. I really like the feel of the Nikkei market at the moment. If you look at the Japanese market on the daily, it looks really good. Elsewhere, we've got some really good buying again coming through in energy. Energy sector on the S&P was really strong on the day. So again, you're just seeing that coming through quite nicely. Copper, I've shown you the chart there, up 1.6%. That looks really good at the moment. A little bit of selling in iron ore futures, but I wouldn't suspect that's going to trouble the materials sector. Look, very, very flat moves coming through in fixed income equity markets like that. And you're seeing volatilities under a little bit of pressure there, with the VIX down 28%. It still gives you a daily move up and down to about 1.6%. Have a look at the FX market there. You can see high beta really outperforming once again against the dollar. A little bit of selling in the pound, but generally those high beta currencies doing really well. Just a final thought of the day. People are saying iron ore is making the Aussie dollar tick. Well, actually, look at the Aussie dollar and Aussie yen against the S&P and look at the regression there. You can see the R2 correlation coefficient. You can see that at 89.4%. So in layman's terms, 89% of the variance that you see in Aussie yen or Aussie dollar is really explained by what's happening in S&P futures. So if you're trading these Aussie currencies or even some of the other high beta FX markets, got to keep your eyes on what's happening in the equity market. They're so important.